We got ourselves Team 1 together with Bruce over as a Shammy, as enhanced with Morpheus in the back as a Fury. We got to see if we're going to be first up for the day. Got himself the Scythe Reaper look with a bit of that Warlock layout. We got Chilpas in the back and Alpha is on standby. With Seaverick waiting out for the first competitor of the day. It's either going to be a Bones of Steel, maybe a Briss, maybe Reverence first up with a pet. Shaken Soda in the back. Look at the fizz all over the. Hopefully it doesn't fizzle out. Reverence, try to see if you may be able to avoid Seaverick, but it's going to be a quick poly. Maybe the pet could be there for the intro. Knows that it's going to happen. The Infernal, try to see if you can approach her with Seaverick. I'm not really sure if the Infernal is as controllable as the normal pet, so Reverence at least trying to get the Infernal somewhere in the vicinity of Seaverick and walk by him for a second. But just didn't realize that that's what he was trying to do. He didn't realize, wait, you want me to attack that guy? Okay. Touching the magic from a distance. Gonna be big missiles versus Reverence. Trying to see maybe you can survive that. Gonna be missiles and blast for Seaverick. Trying to see if he can maybe get some big barrage damage. Got himself all the instant cast. Reverence is down to half his health. With Seaverick trying to see if he can maybe catch up on a little bit of healing, a little bit of cooldown reduction all the time. Bring him back up to speed with that shield. Got himself a little bit of that health recovery as the shield gets depleted. But Elizabeth just devours it, just yoinks it, ends up killing itself in the process. Quick interrupt to the Reverence for just a second as I try to build up the tier set bonus in order to be able to get a big old Chaos Bolt blast back to back on the Seavark. Because if they're able to do so, if you're able to get a full Chaos Bolt into a freebie secondary Chaos Bolt with a Blasphemy dropping in, that damage altogether is quite brutal. Gonna be Seavark just trying to see if you can maybe get some distance from Reverence, just trying to see if you can pelt him with missiles, forcing out an interrupt on a Reverence pet really early, which gives Seaverick an opportunity to actually get some free casting onto Reverence with not a lot of ways for him to stop it unless Reverence gets crowd control. More to call on Seaverick, got himself the ultra time ahead of time. Fear attempt by Reverence. It's going to be full burst out of Seaverick, trying to see maybe we can make the missile play happen. That's going to be big incinerates back to back for Reverence. Does he get himself the big decimating bolt? I think it's just back to back incinerates just for the sake of damn. Dark back to Fala just to give himself a little bit more of a shield. Got himself a bit of a defense as Seaverick is going to recover back behind the pillar as well with a shield of his own. Just trying to see if he can maybe fish some of those instant cast procs. Or clear cast and procs, rather. Big missiles versus Reverence, doing a bit of damage though. Build barrages to follow. Instant cast bolt versus Seaverick as he got himself the rune of power. Actually, not even rune of power. Just actual power. Arcane power. Not rune of power. Try to see if you can steal the reflect from Reverence. I think may have been somewhat successful. Gonna be another set of missiles while touching magic and Reverence. Big touch of magic damage onto the Warlock. But the Mortal Coil is gonna help him stay alive and healthy. All the time for Seaverick. Got himself lots of ability as that Fear went off. Shadow Fear around the corner. Can't really do much about it. Doesn't go for a blink immediately. Interrupt onto the Shadow Fire onto Reverence's head. Gonna be missiles just to drill him down afterwards. That is super unfortunate. But for Seaverick, this is a perfect situation. Feral, Shaken Soda going to be up next. May potentially force the Ice Block on a Seaverick. That is a full Berserk. So Seaverick decided, you know what? Ice Block onto the Berserk may not be the worst move ever. He does have Ice Block. That is a way shorter cooldown than 5 minutes though. Shaken Soda out in the open, touches the Magi, no Skull Bash, goes in for a roar. Seaverick with the ultra time, maybe can get some big damage with Shaken. Does Shaken go for a wall though? Or is it going to be massive touch to the Magi? It's going to be quite a bit of damage. Does not go for a wall. Seaverick trying to see if he can maybe maximize some damage. Got himself full damage, full interrupt onto that nation. Shaken Soda, the wall is the only defensive. No Skull Bash anymore. Invis by Seaverick for a second. Barrage to Shaken. Could be big execute, big missiles, and it's going to be a human racial out of Seaverick just to get out of that CC. Trying not to get interrupted by Chicago. There goes the Nova. Chicago did get a kick out of Chicago, did get to juke it out for just a quick second, and is going to try to see if he can maybe reposition with Chicago, go for a little bit of healing, and then somehow, someway, try to see if he can find the enhancement summon, something Seaverick isn't aware of though. Grounding Totem isn't available for Chicago. He did not spec into Grounding Totem this round, so he cannot ground some of the Seaverick spells. He can purge a lot of Seaverick's buffs for all the time. Shield, that's all going to be valuable. Big Yellow Blaster follows, so actually the Chicago got even more range damage, so it's not like Seaverick can really outrange him. Trying to see if he can land a polymorph for Chicago, trying to blink, but it won't even let him go anywhere. Playing that Kyrian Totem, so actually has him stuck in place, and the Kyrian Totem is going to blast out Seaverick, which is the Kyrian Totem with a Lego Unity. Actually does quite a bit of damage now. So maybe there's a play for Chicago, so stop Seaverick in place, drop down Kyrian Totem, blast him out, let that Totem do a bit of extra burst. Maybe that could actually get him down. That could be really bad because Seaverick gets like question of do you focus the Kyrian Totem or focus the Shaman blasting you. It really just gives you like a lose-lose situation. Polymorph by Seavark, touch of the Magi, potentially big damage. Poly to Chicago, the trinketed before the poly went off. Big damage out of Seavark. No interrupt available. Actually, interrupt available for Chicago. Have to be very, very careful of those interrupts. And it's going to be Curing Totem down with the Sun Totem around the corner. Seavark blinks and got himself a shield immediately with shift to power as the Curing Totem is chasing after him. That Curing Totem still got a little bit of free charges on him. If you can kite the Mage into the Totem, that'd be fantastic. And Seavark is going to give him some massive mobility to bail out of there. Limited on his mobility, limited on his survivability tools. Totem chasing after him constantly with Brawn around the corner. Dusk got himself a quick and biz. Chicago's still looking for him. Totem again, if you just were to blast out some kind of damaging ability or a healing ability, that Totem would have pulsed right on top of Seavark. That Totem is like a bomb. It's actually kind of good. It's actually kind of working out. It's not the best Covenant ability for Shaman, but it actually is working out for Chicago. It's forcing Seavark to focus out on the bonus totem, so you can't really focus up on damage all the time. And when you drop it down static totem, stun totem, curing totem, you gotta make sure you target the right one and focusing the right one down first. Bunch of missiles for Seavark, got himself maybe a bit of damage, lots of procs. Chicago could be in a bit of trouble. A district should keep him alive and healthy for a bit. Got himself that Draenei racial rolling with Seavark, trying to get more cooldown reduction. Static totem back on him with a stun totem, curing totem. It's actually gonna put pressure. And Chicago is stuck in a root, but that totem is doing all the work. Actually, they're stuck in a root, but that totem continues to work and chasing. That totem, why is it so scary? It's gonna be Seavark actually getting blasted, I think, by the last charge of the totem. Not a lot of health to really work with. Temporal is not going to give him much healing. Massive is for a second to try to see if he can bail out of there. Maybe he can get himself a shield again. That's 600% dampener. Jesus Christ. Chicago is still just trying to see if he can keep the pressure rolling with the Seavark. And one more Ellie Blast will do it, or Lightning Bolt, or Ghost Wolves. All the time, you have to ultra so early blink right up, and the wolf's still on you now. Oh, my goodness. Man, that totem actually came in handy there. There was a couple times Chicago was rooted, and the totem just keeps pulsing on the keeps pulsing on him. Wait, Chicago leave? I think Chicago literally left. Morpheus looks like going in versus Briss. I don't know if Briss was actually going to be next, but I think you're just going in. You just seeing Briss. You decided to go after him. That's a little bit confusing at the end. Huh. Looks like I kind of feel bad for Briss because he wasn't next. The rogue was in stealth, and I guess Morpheus was next, and he just wanted to go in before Dampener really ramped up. Next up is the rogue. I feel bad for Biz. Stun into Bones of Steel. Morpheus is trying to give himself a little bit more help to work with the fear right on top of it. While evasion is on the rogue. He's going to try to close the gap and use that enrage regen to try to get some healing immediately disarmed by the rogue with a leap right after. Try to see if he can roll with him out. Does get him out in the open. Getting shot into Morpheus, there's nothing he can do about it. Unless Bones of Steel makes a crucial mistake. It's over. Is it going to be Bruce or Arthurus next? Dropping down Death and Decay, trying to see if he can maybe swing around the corner. Bones of Steel is going to walk into Death and Decay. The pet should be able to attack Bones of Steel around the corner. The A-bomb is charging out. Alpha is trying to see if he can maybe avoid that killer shot. Immediately IBF, and it's going to go for much damage onto Bones of Steel. It's going to get the Army of the Dead rolling in, even through evasion, getting the boys up and running. AMS versus Bones of Steel as the Cloak Chalice comes out for the rogue. Using every offensive, defensive, normal vanish available. This is where all the pets could actually do a lot of work, a lot of damage. That goes on him with the whole army. As long as you keep the pets on him, Bones of Steel will eventually go down. He's definitely getting into that crucial state, and that pet actually is just dominating him. This way you want to keep the rogue out to combat as best you can. Alpha, this is where you need to push up. I know you're waiting for your pet, but this is where I think you should have pushed up with a Death and Decay or something. You need to keep the rogue on his toes and then kind of herd him, guide him back into your pet, so when the blind breaks, the pet can actually just start munching on him, keeping him in combat. Because now that the rogue got a reset, this is going to be cheap shot, kid to shot, and you have a trinket, so at least you got that. The earlier you get the rogue, the better, because the rogue is just going to try to see if he can cheese you out and sell 19 minutes into the duel. What a long duel for the day, man. Surprised Vesper isn't returning. I'm actually not surprised at all, Jake. I mean, maybe for like restoration was kind of useful, but it's a weird ability overall. Big cheap shots back to back at Alphas. No. Oh no. Do we have both chill pills and that chamois leave? Man, what's going on? They're both in AFK. What is even happening, bruh? Yo, Paladin, I'm so sorry, man. He got blasted out. I felt like that was a little bit unfair, but I think the warrior just kind of ran and he was like ready to...